Woo! Boys, we're back. We're back. Dear traveller and welcome. Oh my goodness, where have you guys been? It's been ages. Oh my goodness, I miss you all so much. Urga. Damn, I miss you guys so much. And we've got so much to talk about. Today's going to be an epic video about one of the most insanely amazing cameras you've ever experienced in your life. This is the Mamiya RB67. Please forgive me because this video has been recorded over like the past 6 months, and I've got snippets from here and there and from 2 months ago and from the future and all over the place. So just sit in your seats, get comfy, bro. I've got so much to tell you. I don't even have time to lollygagger, right? I've just got to get straight the hell into it. So bang, straight into it. Mamiya RB67, greatest portrait camera ever made in the history. Shoots 120 film. Go check the internet for specs, because I'm not going to tell you any of the specs. It's an amazing camera. Go out there and get yourself one, okay? Go out there and get yourself one. This is an amazing camera. Now, bang, I've got no time. Guys, I've literally got no time. If you need to use the bathroom, put your hand up. I'll let you go. Go use the toilet. Go, make yourself a tea, coffee, water, whatever it is you like to drink. Get comfortable. This is going to be a long session. We got so much to go through. There are so many adventures, twists, turns that we need to get through. Oh my goodness. I just hope you're not busy, okay? Or just, while you're driving, just have this on, because we got a lot to get through. So bang, straight into it. Rant 1.1.0.0.1. Okay, straight into it. Mamiya RB67, greatest camera ever. Portrait. Now, what other camera would you buy if you're looking for a medium format portrait-y kind of style camera? What other camera are you going to get? You're going to get a TLR? Yuck. Why would you buy a TLR? Why would you buy a TLR? Now, look, TLRs are great. Don't get me wrong. TLRs are absolutely fantastic, but there's that other side to it where it's like, it's real old school, right? It's old hat. It's a bit old hat, right? 6x6 image, which isn't a bad thing, but it's also not, like, I don't get excited about 6x6, and also not as good close focusing. What about the Mamiya C330? That's close focusing. Yeah, it is, and it is a Mamiya, right, which is awesome, but however, it doesn't have the lenses as good as this camera does, and it doesn't have interchangeable, well, it does have interchangeable, but it doesn't have accessible interchangeable lenses like the RB67 has. There's so many reasons why I would choose an RB67 over the C330 any day of the week, okay? And I was like literally researching the crap out of those two cameras. Now, if you've got a C330 or you're thinking about it and you're just about to hit the button, don't stop because of me. That's just my experience. That's what I found. You'll be like, oh, what's wrong with the C330? There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great camera. It'll net you amazing images. Just hands down. It'll net you amazing images. But I just think the Mamiya RB67 is just, it's battle ready, it's proven. How many videos are there about the Mamiya RB67? How many? There's like a bazillion, right? How many good photos are there from the RB67? There's like a bazillion, right? It's to the point where no one's even going to watch this video, because who cares about this camera? There's a squadrillion reviews about this camera, right? How many videos are there of the C330? There's a few. There's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple. Nowhere near as many as this, okay? So just accept it. This is the greatest bargain for medium format film portrait photography. This is the go-to camera. This is the GOAT, okay? This is the GOAT of all time. Straight out, okay? What makes it a GOAT? It's close focusing is insane. It's interchangeable lenses, and they got gorgeous lenses. They're so creamy. They're beautiful. Also, because it's so stable, like such a heavy camera, it stabilizes really good. And I don't know, it's got interchangeable backs on it. You don't get that on the C330. Suck it. Interchangeable backs. Oh, I don't care about it. Yeah, you should care about interchangeable backs, because what you can do with those interchangeable backs is the following. One, you can either have various different film stocks on different backs. You can switch them out. You want to do a black and white, you want to do Portrait 800, whatever. You can switch, have a few different. Or the other great thing is you can have different maskings on those backs. So you can be shooting on one back, you could have 6x9 format, and on another back you could have a 6x6. Imagine that. This camera can basically be whatever you want it to be. It's fantastic, and for the price that it is, Australian, you'll pick up a decent one off eBay for 700, right? And that'll be a decent one. I'm telling you, it's an absolute no-brainer, straight out. If you were like on the fence and you weren't sure, dude, absolute no-brainer, greatest camera ever. Definitely, this is the one. This is the camera you need, okay? Right, next rant. So what's the bad things about this camera? If we're going to look at this, talk about it's the best camera ever, what's its negatives? Its only negatives on this camera that I can think of is it's heavy. Yeah, she's a heavy girl. She's a heavy girl, but you know what? I love the heavy girls. And it's it's good. I like it. The weight doesn't bother me. And I did most of my shooting handheld, okay? Most of my shooting was handheld, and it was no problems. It was no problems, right? Don't sweat about it. Now, the viewfinder, I don't know if that's exactly what you meant to call it, but the viewfinder does this thing, and this is, okay, rant 2.3.6. The viewfinder does this thing where it's almost like when you play like aeronautic video games or whatever, jet fighter video games, where it's like the controls are reversed. It's that kind of reverse controls. That's what this viewfinder does. When you look down, if you're like, oh, it's tilting, I've got to tilt it to the left. As you tilt it to the left, it goes more to the right. And you're like, oh, crap, oops. And then it like messes with your head, and it takes you forever to like frame a shot, and it just totally blows your brain to pieces. Now, that worried me for a bit. When I first got the camera, I was like, dude, I'm getting rid of this camera. This is unbearable. I'll never be able to frame up a shot. However, the best way I could explain it to you is this. It's like driving a manual car. When you first think about it, it's like, what? A clutch? A whole nother pedal on the side? What's a clutch point? What's the biting point? What the hell? The gears? How the revs? I got to watch the... Dude, it's way too much. But literally, within a month, your brain just takes care of it. And it's like, bro, I got this. You just go back to relaxing and picking CDs, and I'll just take care of the whole gear situation. And isn't that true? Isn't that what your brain just figures it out, and it's no sweat whatsoever? That's what this camera does. It literally worries you for the first couple of weeks, and then it just gets easier and easier, and the more you use it, it's like, dude, it doesn't even matter. Like, your brain just rewires itself. It's no problems. Don't worry about it. Next thing that can be a little bit of a problem with this camera is it's basically, because I've got the Budget version, the absolute bottom of the line version, which I recommend, less to go wrong. It's got the same beautiful glass. Who cares? Who needs a stupid light meter or any of this dumb stuff? But anyway, the point I was going to make is that this one I've got has like a little switch you got to press on the back, on the actual rotating back, that locks it locks the advancing of the film, and it just makes it so easy that when you're using this camera, you get so excited because it's so much of a fun camera to use. I'm telling you, is that you get so excited you forget to advance the film, and then you just like do triple exposures, quadruple exposures, and then you're like, crap, I'm still on frame 2 and I've just taken 5 photos, because this camera is just too much fun. It is, and that takes me on to the next point. With the double exposures, look, it's just something you need to learn. You need to do it 3 or 4 times, make the mistake 3 or 4 times, and then you learn it. Same thing, the brain just kicks in. But the reason why I made more triple and quadruple exposures on this camera than any other camera is because this camera, and this leads straight into the next point, this camera is ridiculously fun to use. Like, it is literally the most funnest camera, and it elicits happiness from everyone who sees it or who gets their photo taken by it. It literally has this mystical power to be the funnest camera ever in the history of all cameras, okay? Don't believe me? Cool. But I'm telling you, this is the one. This is the camera. Okay, give me a sec. All right, this is the camera. Rant 6.8. Why is this camera so amazing? Why is it so happy? Okay, let's get into it. This camera makes people happy. Full stop. This camera makes people happy. I've had some of my most amazing photography experiences with this camera, hands down. I've brought it. I took it to Brisbane from Melbourne. We went up to Brisbane and met up with Ace Photography, absolute legend. We went crazy in Brizzy, had some wild nights and got some banger shots. Had lots and lots of fun. Then we went to Surfers Paradise, got some banging shots there, travelled around just that gorgeous area, Gold Coast, oh my goodness, got some absolute good stuff. And then back in Melbourne, getting some great shots around the place. But what I find with this camera is that it's the perfect camera for interacting with people. Now let me tell you a little story, okay? This is story 1, okay? when I was looking to buy this camera, I was chatting to Ace about it, and I'm like, hey, Ace, I'm going to get myself a Mamiya. Now, being the deep thinker that he is, he asked me a question, and he says, well, why? As my phonics teacher used to say, why? Why are you buying this camera? What is it that this camera is going to do that the 158 cameras didn't do for you? And it was a very good question. He asked good question. Okay, he asked very good questions. And I thought to myself, yeah, that's a good question. Why am I buying it? And I had to do a bit of soul searching within a few split seconds. And then I realized, I said, well, look, I've been shooting the Konica recorder and like a lot of these plastic cameras, which I love, and digicams, which I love. But it's all like, it's just like switch your brain off and just take photos. Take photos. I'm like, I want to do something. I want to do some work. I want to take some photos, and I want to be really intentional. I really want to like think. And I want to get street portraits, and I want to get portraits of people, and I want to go from just being a guy that takes photos and, you know, spray and pray to actually intentionally thinking about a composition, thinking about a person, trying to express their emotion through the image. You know, I really wanted to say something with my images, and I really wanted to say that I thought about every element, everything. This is, you know, you can't rush with the Mamiya. That's the thing. It's not a spray and pray. You can't just be smashing through. It's not. You do have to take time to set up the shot. It's just not like, that's the kind of camera it is. So if you think of this like some other, you know, like the Mamiya 7 where it's like automatic and you can just, you know, fire away, it's not. You can't. It's not. It's slow. It's got a method to it. There's a process. It's almost like large format. There's a process. You got to check your focus. Okay, your focus is sorted. Check your aperture. Okay, cool. That's sorted. You know, then you got to advance the film, make sure that's sorted. Take out the dark slide. Yeah, it's got a dark slide. How batty is that? It's super batty. Take out the dark slide. Make sure it's all ready. Which way, what orientation? You're going to rotate it to be horizontal, or is it going to be vertical? Oh, you know what I mean? It really is a beautiful process to shoot this camera. So I wanted to do intentional photos. That was the idea behind this camera. And don't you know it? Don't you know it? That's exactly what I did. I got the best intentional photos I've had in my entire photography career. Literally 100%. I'm not just saying it. Honestly, I got the best photos I've ever gotten with this camera. 100%. Ain't no lie. You know, arguably the best photos. And I'm really happy with them. The photo quality is great. But it takes you to this point, right, where if you're someone who maybe struggles a little bit with portraits or with street portraits, to going up to a stranger and just asking for something, I totally understand. I get that. I'm exactly the same, right? This camera has a secret. I'll tell you my little secret for this camera, and it's the greatest thing ever. Now, I was saying about being a camera that spreads happiness, okay? So this is what I do. This is rant 7.8. This is what I do. Is I get the camera, I'll go to some public space where there's heaps of people, holiday place, heaps of people around, and I pull out the Mamiya. And I just got it in my arms like it's a little kitten. Like it's this little 2-kilo kitten, right? And it's just sitting in my little hand. And I'm telling you, as soon as I pull it out, everyone's staring at me. Everyone's like, what on earth is that? Doesn't look like a camera. Looks like some kind of bazooka bomb thing, right? Everyone's like, what the hell is that? You open up the little viewfinder, you know, you open up the little freaking finder thing, and then just straight away, people are just like, what is that? And they're trying not to be obvious, but they're just staring at you and staring at the camera. And all I do is, while they're looking at me, I'm just scanning their faces and going, oh, who would be a good subject here? Then I find one. And I'll just kind of, you know, saddle up to them. I'll just, you know, hey, man, how you doing? And they'll be like, yeah, good. And I'll be like, have you ever seen a camera like this before? And they're like, no. And at this stage, they're like, kind of like backing a bit, like, I don't know who you are. Why are you talking to me? What is that thing you're holding in your arm? And they'll be like, hey, you want to see something that's going to blow your mind? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. This is the clincher. So they're kind of a bit anxious. They don't know what's going on. This is the clincher. Then you wind the lever, which puts the mirror in place so that you can see through the viewfinder and you can see through the lens. And then you go, have a look down there. And then just instantly their mind is blown. Like they've got no control over this. Their mind is just blown to pieces. Okay? And then instantly, if they're with friends or family or whoever, they'll be like, mate, come have a look at this. They'll call their friends over. Or their missus or whatever. They'll be like, have a look. And I'm just holding the camera. And everyone's just looking down at this viewfinder. just absolutely blown. And I'll show them how to focus. I'll see, and you just turn this knob and see it focuses. And that's where, and it's just like their brain is just insane. And I love that little mental thought. Like, just imagine me holding a camera, right? And then just 3 or 4 people huddled around looking down at it. Like, it's just such a cute little photo. Like, it's such a cute idea. And their minds are just being blown. Like, what the hell is this? And they're like, where does this technology come from? It's like, dude, it's 1970s Japan. This is how sick cameras were back then, right? And then, like, they're just like, mind's blown at this stage, right? And that's when you go in for the kill. And you're like, dude, you think this is cool? You got to see the photos that it takes. And they're like, oh, really? And they're like, hey, why don't I take a portrait of you? And then I'll send it to you. Have you got Instagram or something? I'll send it to you on email or whatever. Dude, yes, please. They literally beg me to take a photo of them, right? And then I'm in like Flint. And then I can not only... can I take a portrait of them? And you see that a lot, right? On YouTube, you know, taking street portraits. But with this camera, it was the first time ever I could confidently start to pose people and be like, oh, what happens if you turn this way? Like, you both face each other or something and do this. Don't smile. I don't want you to smile. This is going to be a real baddie shot. You don't need to smile. And we're going to do it. And people, they get into character. They started warming up. They're having fun, man. They're having fun. And I'm having fun. And then the photo's banging, and you just got to remember not to double expose, because I've done it, and I was heartbroken, because I'm literally chatting to these people. I'm like, so why are you here? Where you from? You on holidays? Oh, sick. What are you doing, man? Hey, if you ever want to get some more photos, you know, reach out to me. I'm always happy to do a photo shoot for you guys. Dude, it was the sickest. This camera, I had the best interactions ever in photography that I've ever had in my life, and I literally met the coolest people. Let's just jump straight into it. I'm just so excited. Let's jump straight into the photos, because I have to tell you stories about every single one. It's amazing. Okay, let's just stop it here and I'll pull up some photos. So, this first couple here, these guys are from Germany. They're sort of backpacking and living in Queensland for a little bit while they're on holidays. And they were just the cutest guys, man. He saw the camera. Look at that face. Look how genuine that smile is on his face. She's a bit like, what the hell's going on? That's fine. That's probably the appropriate response. But look at him. He's freaking lost in it, because he saw how cool his camera was. And he was like, dude, please send me this photo. Please. This is going to be so cool. And they just both worked a super long shift, so they were tired as anything. But I was like, dude, don't sweat it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Took this photo. But you know what I mean? Look how creamy it is. Look at the creaminess, bro. It's, you know, like, I focused on him. I nailed his focus. Didn't quite get her in the focus. But you know what? She wasn't feeling it, so that's cool, right? Next time, kids. But look at him, mate. It's just, look, it looks like they're in a white background. That's just the sky. I just, you know, shooting up towards the sky. That's what this camera taught me as well, the power of shooting up to the sky. But look at it. It looks like they're in a studio or something, you know. They were both wearing the same, because obviously they were both at the same restaurant. It looks like his T-shirt's on back to front. That's all right. Fantastic. Loved it. Great shot. Just, you know, and this was me just warming up. So we were in, here we go. Bam. Double exposure. Totally ruined it. Happens, man. Got too excited. These guys were from, I can't remember now, actually, to be honest. See what I mean? Double exposed. Ruined it. Wasn't thinking. Didn't have my head in the game. This is Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise Beach, right? And it's sunset. And I'm literally running around the beach trying to use up the rest of this roll. And I'm going up to people and I'm saying to them, dude, this camera's insane. I'm going to take the best photo of you you've ever had in your life. But we're running out of light. We need to do it right now. And got some bangerinos, man. Look at this dude. He's throwing a full look down there. Missed focus. Got focus on his chest there. But you know what I mean? Guy putting the vibes out. He was a photographer as well. He's got a page. He's actually a pretty damn good photographer. But I got that. And then these ones here I was really happy with. Got this dude. And he was up for it, man. And look, like, you know what I mean? This guy didn't speak much English, but he trusted me to take a photo of him. You know what I mean? Like, that's how powerful this camera is. Got some photos. Got a photo of his mate. Which, again, I just really like it. I just like, with the sun setting in the background. And, oh, dude. Mate, everyone was like party time. This was January in Surfers Paradise. Such a good look, man. This is Kodak Gold, right? This is Gold 200. So I'm running out of light. You can understand what I mean. I'm totally running out of light. And I'm just trying to snap these photos as fast as possible. Loved it. Finished off the roll that night. Here is our boy. He's a lifeguard there at he's a lifeguard here down at Surfers Paradise, mate. He took the photo very serious. This guy was so damn cheeky, right? Because I did the whole little, have you ever seen a camera like this before? His response was, yeah, I have, but I've never seen one taped up with sticky tape before. Oh, you son of a gun. Hey, why'd you have to do that for? Eh? Why'd you have to be like that? Guy freaking tearing strips off me. But anyway, look how sharp it is, but like zoom in. Look at the sharpness. Look at the detail. Look at the guy. Look at that. What's on his head, mate? I'm jealous. Look at that flaming hair on that head. Right, the sharpness, just because the shadow, the light was coming in, fantastic. Right, you're starting to see the... Look at me go, mate. Look at how many street portraits, or should I say beach portraits. Look how many... Like, I'm going nuts on this one, right? There is no holding me back, mate. I was unstoppable. These legends over here, mate, caught him doing some fishing, and he was living life, you know. Couple of gronks, mate, just enjoying life to the max. Why the hell not? I think this was Kodak Gold as well. Just a great moment. Got to get him. He was a little bit camera shy, to be honest. He was a little bit camera shy. You know, he's just like, please let me fish. Just please let me fish, my boy. Please let me go. Let me go. But anyway, I was happy to get that one. All right, next, let's go to the next one because I got so many framing photos. All right, here we go. Oh, we're getting to some big ones now. We're getting into some big shots, right? So here we are now at Bells Beach in Victoria. Victoria, should I say? Sorry, Bells Beach in Victoria, right? One of the world famous beaches, best for surfing. You know, great surfing place, right? We got some iconic little, you know, shots coming down. You know, this is what I mean. It can be portrait, but it can also be landscape. This camera can be anything you want it to be, mate. The only thing holding you back is your imagination. Beautiful, beautiful shots. Love it. This is Lomo 800, okay? This is Lomo 800 film. I love Lomo 800. I want to marry it, okay? Okay, here we go. Lomo 800. Now I'm going to show you a bang. Now, okay, let me set this one up. So I'm down at Bells Beach. Now, while I'm there, the Longboard Championship was on. This was, I believe, 2024 Longboard Championship in Bells Beach. There were surfies everywhere. And this was like midweek. So these were like the serious surfers that were like out there doing their runs. There was no crowd. There was no fans. It was just surfers from all around the world doing the Longboard Pro Tour, right? And then I noticed this guy and I just couldn't resist. Now this boy is from Paris, France. And he's traveled all the way here to be a part of the Longboard Championship. And I saw him and I'm like, dude, you are literally, like, the guy's like literally a model. And I'm so glad. And I was so like afraid to ask him. He was one of the first portraits I took. And he had a big smile. He was showing his teeth. I said, no, don't smile. Let's try and do something a little bit more serious. And he just piped it down. He didn't go full deadpan face. He still knew what to do. Look, like, come on, man. I'm in love with that photo. And the dude was so nice. Couldn't speak much English at all. I was just trying not to be awkward. I hate this, that on the side, the clouds on his left shoulder, that cloud almost looks like it's because the ocean was behind him. It almost looks like that's the ocean line or the skyline and that like the photo's on a tilt. It's not. It was dead straight, okay? Trust me, right? But it just looks that way because that cloud's a bit dicky. But anyway, I can get that in post. But dude, just like the clarity, everything. Dude, I love this shot, bro. Great shot. Bells Beach, mate. I'm taking you all over the world today. Well, all over Australia. I'm taking you all over Australia with this camera, okay? I hope you can feel my excitement because literally, I'm actually really regretting and really sad that I sold this camera. Oh, what? Did I just say that? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we're going to have to go through it, why I sold it. Spoiler, it's not because it's a bad camera. Spoiler, it's not because it's a bad camera, okay? We'll get to it. But honestly, going through these photos, oh, my goodness. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Check this out. Check this shot out. Boom. Lomo 800. Look at the blues going into those nice yellows. Oh my goodness. This is just countryside Victoria. Isn't that just beautiful, man? This is like something. This is what I would picture something out of like Anna Green Gables or something like that. It's just Gorjo's catchphrase. I love it. Okay, now we're coming up to a big one. Coming up to some big ones, all right? Now, this is Melbourne CBD. There's just this cute little patisserie. And it just looked really cute. And like no one was there. It was like this liminal kind of space. And they had little donuts up there too. So cute. Just wide open. I was shooting through a window too. Just a cute little shot. You know, nothing to really brag about. All right, here we go. Rant. Oh, I'm telling you guys, I got so many stories to tell you. We're going to be here all night. This camera is amazing. All right, guys. Photo booth in Melbourne at Flinders Street Station. Okay, let me tell you the story about this photo. Okay, classic. I got way too excited, right? But anyway, let me tell you the story about this photo. So, horrible photo. Just FYI, horrible photo. I like half of the reason why I bought this camera at the time. I was young. Don't judge me. I was young. Half the reason why I bought this camera is because I was getting into a bit of Mark Forbes. Now, when I say getting into a bit of Mark Forbes, I basically had a bone to pick, and I basically thought, man, I can take photos just as good as him. I don't know what the big hoo-ha is, mate. I can do a Mark Forbes. I can do a Mark Forbesy, mate. Move over, Mr. Forbes. I can do it. Anyway, I noticed this booth and realized Mark Forbes has a photo of this booth, and I'm thinking, boy, I got here the old. I got my RB67, mate. What's stopping me from getting that same shot? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a Mark Forbes. You know what? I'm going to make a mission to track down all these places where he took photos, and I'm going to get a better photo than him. I'm going to be better than him. Yeah, I get very competitive. There's a whole nother side to me, right? I get very competitive. Anyway, but you know what? It drives me to do things out of my comfort zone and push to get better photos. Deep down, I love the guy. He's cool, whatever. I got nothing against him. I just play these silly games to try and push myself to get better photos. Anyway, this is the story. I love this story. Listen up, right? So I'm going and I see this place. I've got the Mamiya RB67. I'm ready to take this photo. Please understand, not that I want to give out my location of where I live, but I live pretty close to Torquay, right? Where Bells Beach is and all that kind of stuff. I live there. Melbourne City is like 2-hour drive for me. So I've made a huge effort to get this photo. Massive effort. I rock up, I see the photo, and then I notice this guy cleaning it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I traveled all the way here. Technically, I'm here for work and I'm not even meant to be taking this photo. But you know what? You got to just take the chance, opportunity when an opportunity's there. And I'm like, dude, there's some freaking guy cleaning the damn thing. Like, get out of my photo, dude. I just want to take the damn photo and get out of here. You know, I was double parked illegally in Melbourne. It was bad, right? I'm like, dude, calm down. Just go for a little walk. We'll go for a little walk around Melbourne, give the guy 5 minutes, and then hopefully he'll get the hell out of here, and I can get on with this shot, and we can all go our different ways. I go for a little walk, come back, dude's still there. He's still there cleaning it. I'm like, God, man, goodness. And anyway, like I'm walking around, I'm kind of like around it, and he's sort of noticing me, just like being around, and I'm like, dude. And I'm like, just kind of strike up a conversation. I'm like, hey, photo booth, yeah? And he's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I actually drove a real long way to come here. I just love how I'm all about me. I just love that I'm all about me all the time. Oh, my goodness. I'm so bad. Anyway, I'm just like, yeah, I drove so far to get this photo. And I sort of saw you there. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, hey, do you want to see how it works? And I'm like, oh, what, for real? And he's like, yeah, come have a look. The dude opens it up and shows me this mechanical madness that is inside this machine and how it works.
Obviously not. So there's big old capacitors that charge these old flashes.
I just wanted to get a photo of that thing going.
That's unreal.
Absolutely gobsmacked. This machine is doing direct transfer, or I think that's the word for it, light sensitive paper. It's making a portrait of you on the spot, going through all the different, dunks it in all these different processes to give you a image straight away, an instant image. It's beautiful. I was like, dude, this is sick. It's not digital, it's fully film. And he was telling me that he gets the film from Russia, I believe. It was somewhere around Russia, and he says because we can't import directly from Russia, I actually have to get it sent to Poland, get it repackaged, and then sent here because this is the only film that works with this machine. Dude, I was like, man, this is insane. And And then he's like, yeah, I own this. Like, this is my thing. And I bought it off the original guy. And then he starts telling me about the guy. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, this is insane. This dude's a legend. And then he's like, oh, you've got an RB67. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, you could say I'm a bit of a pro. This dude whips a Leica out of his pocket. Dude's got a Leica. You know what happens when someone whips out a Leica. It's just triple rainbows, right? Well, no way you got a Leica, man. The smiles on both of our faces were just about to tear our freaking cheeks apart, right? Oh, no, I'm going to cut that out. The smiles on our faces were just like ear to ear. It was such an electric moment. And then I realized this guy's a big deal. And then he was telling me about the original guy that owned it and how he started it like years, like 70 years ago or something. I don't know, 60 years ago, right? Then he tells me this magic story. He says to me that the reason why he bought it is because he actually proposed to his now wife in that photo booth at the time. That's where he proposed to her. And that's when later they got the idea of, they heard it was for sale. And then he bought it because he's like, hey, this is where I proposed to my wife. Isn't that romantic? Damn. Boy's got skills. Isn't that romantic? And then he told me that apparently Flinders Station used to have a dance hall back like 60 years ago or something. And that's where his grandfather proposed to his grandmother. So he's like, dude, it's all full circle, bro. This building is like special to me and my family. Because it seems like, you know, all these stories are happening. Dude, isn't that magic? Isn't this why photography is so damn exciting? Isn't this... Oh, it's the juices, it's the ether, it's the nectar, mate. It's the flaming nectar. So I was like pumped. He's like, dude, if you want to see a documentary about this guy, there's a full doco. Like, there's so much information about all these stories. So look, I'll try and link it. I'll try and let you know. Definitely recommend to have a look, guys. This is a part of Australian history and photography and just something cool. So while he's cleaning it out, I say to the guy, hey, how about I get a portrait of you with the Mamiya? And he's like, yeah. So I did like the close-up image of him and he's leaning on the door and I got a nice little portrait of him and he's crossing his arms and he's like chilling. And I'm like, dude, this is going to be sick. Once I edit it and square it all up and get it exactly where I need it to be, dude, it's going to be sick. And I'm like, dude, I can't believe I wanted to get a Marks Forbes photo, but it turns out I got a freaking heaps better photo and a story to go with it. This is the best thing ever. Oh my goodness. And then I'm walking away chuffed, happy, just chuffed. And then as I'm walking away, I look back over my shoulder at where he was and where we just had that amazing interaction. Two humans on this earth spinning around an empty universe, right? We had that interaction and I look back at him and I noticed for a second he was in the zone, right? He was just vibing. And I noticed in that moment, he picked up his Leica. Such a moment. And he took a photo out towards Flinders Station. He was taking a photo, but just in that moment, it felt so organic and like he was just so happy. Like in that moment, he just was in the right place at the right time and he just shared that story with me. I could just see the happiness bubbling and I was like, dude, I'm taking a cheeky. So that's where I took the second shot. I'm like, this is going to be the little, and he's not going to know because he didn't see me take this shot. I'm like, this is going to be that extra little shot, mate. You didn't expect it. I got a shot of you using your Leica because he only just bought the Leica, right? It was a gorgeous one. I don't know what it was, but it was gorgeous. Brand spanking new, all black. Dude, he let me hold it. It's so gorgeous. And I took the photo, but I got back to the car and I was like, dude, I double exposed. I can't believe it. I wrecked both shots. I was so upset. I called Ace. I'm like, Ace, I just ruined two good shots. And he's like, bro, hey, don't sweat it. At least you got the story. And damn straight do I have a story. So from Mark Forbes to this guy to his granddad proposing, dude, if you are ever in Melbourne, if you're traveling, you're ever in Melbourne, do it. Or if you live in Victoria and you've just never done one of these photo booths before, please go get your photo taken. I cannot stress it hard enough that this is one of the greatest experiences and I cherish these photos insanely. So he actually, and he does this sometimes, when he cleans out the machines, he'll let you have a free shot. If you're there and I've noticed him do it a couple of times. He's like, mate, go have a free shot. Go jump in. And he taught me how to sit, you know, just the right distance. And he's like, hey, put the RB67 up to you. So you got the RB67 in the shot. You know, it's like a bit of a memory. Dude, I'm telling you guys, I can't stress this enough. These are one of these kind of moments that I never want to forget. It just felt so good. I traveled for 2 hours to get to this place because of Mark Forbes, only to find one of the greatest experiences ever in my photography life, to share passion, and then he shared with me, and it was just like, it was so good, man. It was so good. Literally greatest thing ever. If you ever get a chance, you got to do it. Oh man. Oh man. So good. So good. What a story. What a story. All right, well, that's, you know what? You think that's all the stories, but no, I still got more to show you. I got more to show you. All right, this one here, I just want to show you this photo. Look how cute this is. It's a classic North Melbourne kind of house. Very cute, very cute. Now, this is, just for reference sake, this is Lomo 800, but I've probably overexposed the shot 3 or 4 stops. I literally overexposed the absolute living HE double hockey sticks out of this image. And it actually doesn't look that bad. It's like pretty creamy. You know, it's a bit pastel-y. So just a little word to the wise. Lomo, overexposed. You know, you probably don't want to overexpose it 4 stops like I did, but it was an accident. So, you know, tough tamales. But that's a good shot. Love it. Great stuff, because you can do more than just portraits. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this camera. Okay. Boom, boom, cack, boom, 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 cack, zigga-dum, bat, boom, boom. All right, let me show you some more photos. This, I went into this gorgeous little place in Melbourne somewhere, and the guy's just got beautiful European sports cars, and I just nabbed this little shot. I had to shoot it wide open. Lomo kind of had a bit of color distortion on this one. I think I got a light leak somewhere. Oh, this takes me to a great rant. Light leaks. This probably explains why my camera was covered in tape. Now, if you're thinking of buying these cameras, if you watch Willem Verbeek and all these fancy YouTubers, the number one mistake all of them make is, oh, I got light leaks on my first roll. And I'm like, dude, how long have you been shooting film for? Wouldn't you have expected that? Didn't you see that coming from a mile away? But they don't. They all make the same mistake. So I was like, dude, I can't afford to make that mistake. I'm not having light leaks everywhere. So I taped up my camera like it was a Holga. I taped the absolute hell out of it, and I'm glad I did. I never got a single light leak except for that one photo of the Porsche. Didn't get a single light leak except for that one photo. So word to the wise, tape that thing up. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't want to tape this thing up. Okay, well, look, power to you. However, that means you're going to have to get new light seals. Just know, if you buy this camera, you are going to need to get new light seals, because 99% of these cameras do not have functioning light seals, and that's okay. I'm not complaining about it. That is completely okay that they don't have light seals. For me, I just tape the thing up like a Holga, because I'm not precious. I don't care, and I don't want to spend $50 on a light seal when I could spend $50 on, you know, 3 rolls of Kodak Gold. So for me, I taped it up. If you're going to do it, you need to go on eBay, buy light seals. Literally, they're $50 for a pack of light seals, and there are so many videos showing you how to install them. So there is that. All right, more photos. Let's get into it. I ended up going to Cooley and saw these awesome lowriders, cool guys, definitely the cool guy club. They were just rolling around Cooley, and I'm like, dude, I just walked straight up to them. I launched up to these guys, literally just handbraked my car, launched out of the car. I was like, dudes, I need to get photos, right? I didn't even give them the whole spiel. Bang, just, I need to take photos of you guys. So, to have a look, there was only one guy that was kind of ballsy enough to let me take some photos of him. Right, I was way too excited, but I didn't double expose, so I'm proud of myself on that one. But the thing looks sick, man. So there's, you know, tried to get a little portrait of him. You know, the guy's probably not very good at posing, but you know what? He gave it a shot. The bloke gave it a shot. You know, tried to get a little bit of the kicks. You know, but look how sharp. See what I mean? Portrait 160, gorgeous colours on 160, big props to 160. But it's like the Mamiya glass. It's sharp and it's soft. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you could print this out 1,000 times bigger, but it's like it's gorgeous. I love it. Got these cool cars, man. They had so much vibe to them. This was the money shot for me. I absolutely love this shot. And when I've edited it, this is sort of the unedited video version of it, but the car was like mint green. And when I pop the greens on this, it just looks amazing. That dashboard, dude. Right? It's gorgeous. What have we got? We're getting close to the end. When I got back to Victoria, I had a roll of red scale. Lomo red scale. I thought it was Lomo 800. Turns out it was red scale. Anyway, another story time. So I am walking, what am I talking about? I'm driving through Melbourne from the airport. I'm driving through to Hillvale to drop off all my film after I just got back from Brizzy. I want to drop it all off to get done. I'm driving to Hillvale. And what do I see? Two dudes walking down the street. One of them had a Mamiya 7 and one of them had a Pentax 67. And they're just like taking photos, and I just like, dude, this is insane, bro. I just tear the car off to the side of the road, handbrake the heck out of it, car explodes, I jump out, and I just pull up on these guys, and they're like, what the hell is going on, right? What the hell? I just pull up on them. Am I going to rob them or something? I pull up on these guys, I'm like, boys, what do you think you walk around these streets with those cameras? And they're like, what the hell's going on? And then I produce the RB67. And then they're like, oh! And I'm like, dude, check it out. We've pretty much got like the trio. You got a Mamiya 7, you got a Pentax 67, and an RB67. And they were just like, dude. And again, out of those three cameras, my camera costs less than one of the lenses for their cameras. Right? My camera probably costs as much as a lens hood and a strap for one of their cameras. But I'm getting banger shots, so I don't care. Doesn't matter. And we had this awesome, like, dude, we were like fawning over each other's cameras. It was sick, man. I absolutely loved it. And I got this banger shot, which I actually really like. It was red scale. I had to push it 2 stops because I thought I was shooting Loma 800. Turns out I was shooting 200 speed red scale. But these boys were absolute legends. Follow them if you can. Just all-around gangsters, absolute champs. Then I found this sick pub just around the corner from Hillvale. I heard some doof music, and I'm like, bro, what's going on there? Found some legends. Found some absolute legends. Look at these champs, mate. Look at this guy. Who's that? Who's that little sexy monkey right there? Total legend. This dude, look, he's cheesing like hell, man. He's just loving life. Yeah. This boy, you know, he looks like an Alibaba version of Bad Flashes. And this lady, you know, eyes closed. Yeah, well, you can't win them all, mate. But you know, look at the vibes. Can you feel the vibes, bro? I was killing it, man. Oh, dude, I've got so many stories with this camera. No other camera have I ever had which had this many stories. Oh, my goodness, I love this camera. Why did I sell it? Why? You'll find out about that later. Okay, so now we're in Geelong, and we are in Geelong, the foreshore little area in the bay there, and we're having summertime fun, right? So this image here, I really wanted to get that kind of foreground, middle ground, background. I wanted to sort of get it all. The kids jumping off the thing. You got some people chilling, sitting down. You got some people sunbaking. Just a gorgeous shot. It was just cute. And this is Ektar 100. I think it's the first time I ever shot Ektar. It was sick, man. I loved it. You know, it's kind of like street photography, little shot. And I'm just chilling with the RB67, man. Just doing what I do. Was stoked to be out. Absolutely stoked to be out. And then I came across these legends, right? Turns out these are some street photographers in Geelong, which is a small coastal town if you don't know. And they saw the RB67 from a mile away, and straight out, conversation sparked up. What are you doing, mate, with an RB67? And they had some, you know, Minoltas and sort of like, you know, a Canon A1 or something like that. You know, yeah, that's cool. Good on them for being out. And I was like, boys and girl, let's do a shot, man. Can I take a portrait of you guys? Look at this, mate. I said to them, once I sent this photo to them after, I was like, if you guys aren't in a band, you need to be in a band. You need to start a band, because this is the front cover. Oh, no, not front cover. This would be the back cover of the album, right? I'm like, dude, you guys are just friggin' legends. Look at that shot. This is probably one of my favorite shots from the camera, because I always wanted to do that kind of Beastie Boys, up shooting angle, people crowding around the camera. That's kind of, I just love that shot. I love that look. Real 90s vibes to me. Real band photo. I love this shot. She was putting out the moves, she's just real relaxed, and the guys have just got that whole confused look like they're DJs and they're just like confused and unsure what's going on. It's just sick. I love it. I absolutely love this photo. On the Ektar, dude, exposure to awesome. And you might be wondering, oh, dude, what do you expose? Your exposure is pretty bang on. What do you expose? What do you use? What do you use? Do you use your phone? Do you use a blah, blah, blah? Dude, I use nothing. I just use Sunny 16 and I just work it until I figure it out. That's the thing about this camera. It's only got 500ths of a speed. It's got 500, 250, 125, and then something, right? That's it. So for me, I'm just going between 125 and 500. That's 3 speeds. And then I've just got a couple of apertures. That's all you got to play with, man. Make it work. Just, you've been shooting film for a while. You don't need a meter, mate. Throw the meter out. This is one of my favorite shots. Loved it. Again, I'm ticking the list of taking photos that I'm really thinking about. That they're not just random shots. They're actually well thought out images. Got some Beach Boys, bit of a beach shot. Did some little arty sort of stuff. Again, this was actually a little bit of a Mark Forbes thing, because he's got this photo of these aeroplanes down by the windowsill, and I'm like, dude, I could do that photo. I know. I don't know why I'm like this. But bro, I'm all over it. Whoa. So here's some great family shots, great skin tones. This is the Ektar 100. Then I got this one. Check this out. Dude didn't see me. Straight out street shot. Melbourne. Just take it, please. Come on, man. Look at the photo, bro. Look at it. It's just gorgeous. It's creamy. It's beautiful. The background's just got the right amount of blur to it. Early mornings. Oh, in Melbourne, baby. And then just look at the detail of him holding on to his sleeve there. You're joking me, right? It's gorgeous. I love the tones. I love the shot. Wasn't that an absolute journey? I love this camera so much. Highly recommend it. Well, you're lying to me, Shutter Slaps. You are lying to me. If you really love this camera, why did you sell it? Why did you sell it if you apparently loved it? Okay, I'll tell you why I sold this camera, ultimately. A couple of reasons. One, I bought this camera with intention of taking photos with more intention and getting into street photography, street portraits. That was why I wanted to get this photo. That's why I wanted to get this camera. That was my intentions behind this camera. And I believe I nailed it. I smashed it out of the park. I achieved everything I wanted to achieve with this camera. I achieved it all. I did it. And then let's put that on pause for a little bit. Let's just pause that right there. Next thought. After I achieved everything I wanted to, it just sat in the cupboard. And it just sat there collecting dust again. Because I did what I wanted to do with it. And it was kind of, that was it. I didn't feel that drive, that need, that hunger to do it. Because it's always the fear of pushing yourself, the fear of the unknown, the pushing yourself. They're trying to beat Mark Forbes. They're trying to have these experiences. All that stuff is me pushing myself to get to that next level, and the dopamine, the adrenaline, everything, it's like leading up to it. But once I get there, it's like I've done it. It's done. There's no new ground to figure out, to unturn. It's all done. So it just sat on the shelf. Great camera, but I just didn't use it. And that was like annoying. But I was happy to leave it there. I was like, it'll come out again when I'm ready. It'll be there waiting for me. There's no need, there's no problem with it sitting there. It's not taking up too much space, or it kind of is, but it doesn't matter. It's a gorgeous camera, and I'm sure the time will come again where I want to do this again, and I'll be inspired to get more portraits and to relive all these experiences again. I knew it. However, I also just bought myself a car. because I just thought I'm spending all this money on cameras and stuff. I probably need to make bigger and better purchases, and I kind of need a car. So I bought myself an old little vintage car, which is a little cutie patootie that I can drive around in now. And I needed the money for getting the car serviced, getting Vic Roads, getting it on the books, registered in my name. I needed money, and I just looked at this big thing just sitting in my cupboard, and thought, mate, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to let you go, girl, because I need to achieve this other goal of mine. So I let it go. So if it wasn't for me needing to purchase a vehicle, I wouldn't have sold it. Simple as that. However, let's go back to the original reason of I achieved my goals with this camera. This is where this video takes a little bit of a bit of introspective, because now that I've achieved that goal of taking street portraits, I kind of lost the love for it in the sense of I look back at some of these photos, and this is me being negative. Maybe I was in a real negative headspace when I started thinking like this, is that I was like, yes, I'm achieving street portraits. I'm ticking that box. But I'm like, but it doesn't mean anything. These are like random people. These are just random people. And what am I going to do with these photos? They're just going to sit on my hard drive. It's just random pictures of random people on my hard drive. And that's it. And I was like, that just doesn't excite. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's something missing. There's something missing from that. Like, if it was portraits of my family, or like, my friends, my people, doing stuff together, then we can always laugh about it. And I could, give it to my friend as a present and be like, print it out, put it on his wall. Every time I visit him, I see that photo of, oh man, that was sick when we did that. But these people, I'll never really see them again. They're just random people in my life that I met, and that I don't know if I'll ever see again. And we go our separate ways, and the party's over. And I was like, there's something missing. There's something missing. And I felt like it's missing that electricity of life. That electricity of spontaneous, rather than being so thought out. Now I want to go back the other way. Oh my goodness, why does photography do this to me? Now I want to go back the other way and take more spontaneous photos of just more like life moments rather than just random people. I can't explain it, man. I don't know. I just go where my motivation takes me. That's all I can say. And if you've got an answer for this, and if you've experienced this and you've felt this same way, help me. Help me to explain to me where I'm going wrong, because I just feel like I'd try something. I'd get to a point where I'm not saying I'm the master of street photography. I'm not saying I'm the master at portraits. I know I'm not. Like a professional portrait photographer would see all the faults in my images and be like, yeah, your lighting's off. You've really got to think about, putting it on a tripod. Being in a studio, you should probably try studio and flashes and actually understanding light a bit better, and, that depth of field. You probably want to do a bit more of that. Focus on, and probably get the camera serviced. It's probably not focusing exactly correctly. You probably, it's the bones are there, mate, but I think you need to flesh this out a little bit more. I think you need to take it to that next level of maybe hire a model and actually, work on it, and actually, try and work a scene, and maybe get a model in a studio, and, maybe that's the next step for me. But this is the thing. This is where I get to. Think of it like, this is the best way I can explain it. It's like, imagine if you're climbing Mount Everest or some high mountain, right? And you're like planning for it, you're excited about it, and then you're doing it, you're getting there, you're like, man, I'll never get to the top. And then you're just trudging up this mountain, and you're going through all the craziness and, the frostbite and all the crazy stuff, and you're getting there. And then one day, all of a sudden, after all that hard work and how many days it takes you to get to where you're going, you don't reach the top of the mountain, but you get like 2/3 of the way up the mountain, or maybe even halfway up the mountain. And then all of a sudden the clouds move, and you just get to see the glory of this mountain, all shining in the radiant sun with the blue sky in the background. You see the peak, the summit. And I feel like, for me, it's like you feel it in your gut. You feel like, I've gotten this far, I know I can reach the top. I know I can. But now that I know that I can, I don't have the desire to. Now that I know I can reach the top, I don't have the desire to. I feel like I've come far enough. I've done it. I've done enough that I need to, that I don't need to do this anymore. I'll take a photo of that, click, and I'll be like, I'm gone. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't make it to the top. It's like, but I didn't need to. I felt it within my grasp. I felt like I'd reached a point where I know I could get there. To the point where I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. I no longer have the drive. Instantly, the motivation disappears. And I'm like, what am I doing on the side of a mountain? What the hell have I done? Time to head home now, boys. That's what I get. I get this thing where I get so close, so far, to the point where I'm like, yeah, I think I can do this. I think I'm that close to making it. Like, I really think I've got the momentum behind me. And then it's like, yeah, that's great. I've done it. I've done it enough now. Let's find a new adventure. I don't need to finish this chapter. I've done enough. Maybe it's the thought of I enjoy the journey more than the destination. And when I see the end of that destination, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Maybe as I see the end drawing near of this journey, it's got this melancholy feel to it of like, I don't want to finish this journey, because then I'm going to have to find a new journey. And once it's finished, it's like this sad anticlimax. It's like, I've done it. I've achieved it. You know, I've heard it's the same as when people who like build hot rods and stuff and build old vintage cars and they're restoring it. It might take 6-7 years, and they get there, you know, they strip the car down to its tiny little pieces and they slowly rebuild it years and years and years. And I heard that once the car's complete, is they have this sense of sadness come over them because that project's over. Like, that story's finished. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe I get to that point where I can see the end and I'm like, nah. I don't want to do it. It's kind of like changing the song before the song finishes and you flick to a new song. Maybe that's what it is. So there you go. Anyway, off point completely. Mamiya RB67, fantastic cameras. Thanks for coming on the journey. Please, comments down below. Hit me with it. Did any of this resonate with you? Have you had an experience like this? Are you thinking of getting this camera? Because if you are, get one. It's the cheapest, best medium format camera money can buy at this point in time. I sold it purely because I think another reason why I sold it, and probably the ultimate reason, and I've said this about a few different cameras, is if I really love a camera, I'll sell it. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'll let you go. And if you come back to me, if somehow, you know, life brings you back to me and another one pops into my hands again, I'll be like, that was meant to be. It was meant to be. You know, so I like that. I like throwing caution to the wind and just being like, hey, until next time. On that note, my little travelers, I'll be catching you on that there next one. Did I actually get the camera? Oh, I did get it. Well, there you go. I forgot that I actually got this. I must have gone back and tried again. There you go. I did do a little Mark Forbesy, but I should have had it on a tripod. That's what Mark Forbes would have done. He would have had it on a tripod, and he would have used a light meter. Look, power to him. But yeah, no, I kind of rushed that one. You can tell it's handheld. It's a little bit shaky-wakey. Could have done a little bit more depth of field or something. It's just a bit shaky. Oh, well, screwed it. No, you can't win them all, mate. Let that one go.